What's up, everybody? I'm Dave Miranda, and this is episode 126 of Just Give Me 5. I hope you guys are doing great, continue to be amazing. We got a really awesome show lined up for you today. But first things first, I need you to hit that like button, need you to hit that subscribe, and I need you to spread the word about Just Give Me 5, all right? Excuse the relaxed fit. You know, I've been swimming with the family all day. We got back from California, Jimmy and I last night, and, was barbecuing and stuff, so just came up just in a chill mode. It's hot as hell today in Phoenix, Arizona, but, we're making it happen, man. If you guys caught episode 125, though, you saw we had none other than my man, Jerron Eichner, a.k.a. Black One. That's how I will always remember him, because that's how I met him in the scene back in like 07, 08 era. And, just a really remarkable human being, man. Everything that he's contributed with his Starstruck multimedia, his filming career, obviously his music journey, everything that he did in Tucson for the Tucson scene, and everything that he's brought to the Phoenix scene as well. Like I said before, man, Phoenix, Tucson, at the end of the day, man, it's all Arizona. We are all one, and we can only, as long as we join forces like that, it can only just build up more of the community here. So, shout out to you, my brother. I'm super proud of you. It was really just so awesome to have you on our platform. And, make sure you guys watch episode 125. All right. But today's guest is one of the kindest, funniest, most down-to-earth human beings the Arizona scene has ever witnessed. She's also heroic. We're going to talk about how she got into radio back in the day. We're also going to talk about her time in television and media, a battle with lung cancer that by the grace of God she happened to survive, her comedy run, and so much more. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I present to you Diva Danielle.
What's up? It's Diva Danielle. You know me, you know the face, you know the name and the voice. And all I'm saying, just give me 5. Well, let me tell you, I love personalities, and I love when people enjoy what they do and they're enthusiastic about it. So I had a favorite radio station that I loved listening to because the personalities on the station were fantastic and they just made it fun. Yeah. So I never really had a thought like I want to work in radio. I just wanted to hang out with the people in radio. Yeah, good energy. They had a lot of fun. And what they did made me feel good because I enjoyed listening to them, and it made me feel like, oh, I can win that contest, or I could do this, or I could be a part of it. And then when you see them, it was like they were your friends because you would call in, they got to know you. And so I never really had the aspirations of being in radio. It just sort of happened that way. Okay. Just by listening to my favorite radio station in Salinas, California, 102.5 KDON.
Wow. So you say it just happened. How did it happen?
Well, it happened by winning a contest. They had a contest like all radio stations do. And it was B Caller 19 to win a trip to the 2000 Grammy Awards. Wow. And if anybody recalls the 2000 Grammy Awards, that was the Grammy Awards, okay? Because Christina Aguilera won for Best New Artist. Okay. J-Lo wore that green Versace dress and walked the red carpet with P. Diddy. So it was a good one. So I actually wound up being the 19th caller on the last day to qualify for the contest. And I told them, I said, look, my hair appointment's made, my dress is picked out, my friends already got the time off from work. I'm your winner. So it's happening. I'm winning. I'm going to LA to the Grammy Awards. They were like, no, we got to pick a person. I said, you don't gonna pick nobody. It's me. So I was confident, and then so they said, come Monday morning, because it was on a Friday. They said, come Monday morning, we're going to pick the winner and announce their name. I told everybody, I'm going to the Grammy Awards. I told my mom, and you have to understand, this was 2000, so this was back in the day when you had to put a cassette player next to the radio with a tape in it to record yourself on the air. Absolutely. So that's what I did, because I told everybody, you're going to have to listen. They're going to call the name, and they're going to announce it like at 9:10 in the morning or something like that. So as I was preparing to go to work, and I had a job working for a divorce attorney at a law office, and I loved my job because I got to be social, and I'm a social butterfly.
Of course, yeah.
So I told everybody, my mom's like, you ain't winning no contest, you ain't going to no LA. I said, I am. I'm their winner. Sure enough, nonchalant, I'm getting ready. Phone rings. They call. And I gave them exactly what they wanted because, you know, radio is theater of the mind. So I was over the top. I was big personality.
Right.
Here I go to LA, and then I come back and I tell about my experience on the air.
Yeah.
When I returned. And the program director at the time was like, "You are good for radio. You get it." And I was like, I don't want to work here. And he was like, "No, you need to work here. You get it. We know you listen to us all the time because you call in all the time. But Danielle, you need to work here." Long story short, I turned him down 3 times.
Wow.
And then eventually from there, I took a job, got on the radio, learned the ins and outs, and within a year, I got a job promotion to move to Phoenix.
Wow. What was the station? So it was 102.9?
Yeah, 102.5 KDON.
Okay, so you rode that out for a solid year, and then how did the offer come from Phoenix?
Well, good old Bruce St. James,
Yes,
our
sir.
program director, he was scouting out different morning shows, and he happened to come across ours at KDON, which was me, MG.
Yeah.
It was Mad Dog, and at the time, it was Fredo. I don't even know if you remember Fredo. He was our stunt guy at the time. But when we came to Phoenix, we actually brought another guy with us, Gringo, David, at the time. So, yeah, so when we came to Power, Bruce made us an offer. We came to Power, we packed up our stuff, and never been to Phoenix, but I had a job. So I was like, let's go, let's do it.
Right.
Came here, I had no idea how hot it was. And we moved in July. We drove over in July. I just knew it was a desert.
You didn't get spoiled prior, you know what I mean? So
I
you
didn't
just
know.
jumped right into the
Right. It was just like, and it was so crazy because it was sink or swim. We had to just, hit the ground running. We started working at Power 92.3, and it was a whirlwind. And I'll never forget it because we were on the air. And our first week, they said, "Danielle, we're going to send you to New York City to cover the MTV Video Music Awards." Because I was the morning show co-host with Power and MG's Morning Madhouse. And I did all the entertainment, community news. And so, yeah, that was my first big assignment working at Power. And I would never forget it because my mom, prior to that, was like, "I can't believe you're trying to do this radio thing. That's not a real job. You need to get a job. I don't believe you're going to Phoenix. Why are you moving to Phoenix? You don't know nobody over there. You need to get a real job." As soon as I called her from my hotel room overlooking Times Square and told her I had my backstage passes to go to Radio City Music Hall to conduct interviews at the MTV Video. Oh, my baby. My baby. Oh, my God, she going to be on TV. My baby's in radio. My baby's going to be talking to stuff. My baby's, oh, girl, you better enjoy this job. I'm so happy you got this job. Baby, how did this work out for you?
Right.
Leave it to a mom, right? Yes. So, yeah, crazy. But that was like, sort of like my whirlwind. So it was almost like the years that you go to college, you have these amazing experiences and you're just in the thick of it. Yeah. That's what radio was for me, from winning a contest that took me to the Grammy Awards to getting on radio. Yeah.
So you started riding that out. So that was how long was that?
That was from 2002 we came here to the end of 2005, the first, I think, January of 2006. And in our morning show, I want to say, as most morning shows, today's your last day on the air. You get let go. They disbanded us. So, yeah.
What was if you could think off the top, like a couple memorable moments from being with
Oh my God.
Morning Madhouse, you know?
Oh my God, there was so many. It was so many. It was so good. Well, because we had David, who was our stunt guy, and he would do anything we asked him to do out on the street. So it's like, they became my family, and we were thick as thieves. We were family because we hung out every day. On the weekends, we went over to each other's homes. We ate together. We were family. So let's just put it this way. I saw David naked more than I wanted to because he was our stunt guy. So he would be naked in the studio. We had him doing stunts where he was naked. I'll never forget, we asked David to tie a rotisserie chicken to his penis and see if he can get it to come up and down. Like, it's like, yes. Yeah, man.
Oh my God.
David he was our stunt guy, and we would put him through so much. We had him go down to downtown Phoenix, the Van Buren area, and find a homeless woman to make out with. He actually found one, brought her back to the studio. This lady was filthy, and then his challenge was he had to make out with her.
Oh my God.
And you talk about yuck mouth. It was like,
right. Oh my God.
but he did it because he was our stunt guy and he was up to doing anything. And that's what you do. That's what I'm saying. It was my version of going to college. That's what you do when you're young. You immerse yourself in it. You have no fear. You roll with it and you just take it all. But yeah, there was some.
Yeah, he was like James Belushi.
Oh my gosh, he was. He was crazy, over the top.
And you know what's crazy about that though is that you couldn't even do that today.
No, the stuff that we had him do.
There's no way.
We taped him to a light pole. We had him go up on a billboard and sit up there and chit chat with the people down below. You would get arrested today for doing any of that stuff.
No way.
Insane. But there were some incredible highlights with the perks of the job. You got to meet amazing celebrities. We had some really cool people, like The Rock came into studio with us. Wow. And that was such a treat to see, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, bigger than life, hang out with us in the studio. And you should have seen people that worked in the newsroom, people that didn't even ever come down to our section of the radio station were like, girls had hair done that day, regular girls who were like writing news with the scrunchies in their hair, no makeup on. I'm like, Sylvia, is that you? They makeup, hair done, they came down. People showed up that never even came down to see us on the morning show, hear us do our job. Right. They were just on their floor doing what they needed to do, working news or editing stuff or doing, production, making phone calls. Never wanted to come chit chat with us. As soon as The Rock showed up, everybody was there.
Right.
Yeah, all of a sudden then we had a purpose and a meaning. Well, we need to come down there and see what you guys are doing. Yeah. Oh my goodness, the transition from radio to TV to media. It at the time, it didn't even seem like it was a thought process. It just sort of evolved and happened. I was, trying to figure out when I got let go from the morning show. We kind of all disbanded, but we were still friends and would support and hang out with one another. Where do we go from here? What job will we get? So of course I would work like a few times at different radio stations, just trying to keep that on-air presence and stuff. Yeah. But then I started volunteering in the community, networking with a lot of different individuals. And then one thing led to another, and I decided that I was going to go take some courses at Alpha Pacific. And that was a place where you could go to learn how to edit, shoot on-camera videos. And I figured, and it was a small, intimate setting. So it was almost like a trade school with small independent classes. So I went to Alpha Pacific Institute. And I started taking some classes. One thing led to another, and just volunteering, doing different things with nonprofits in the community, meeting other people. Yeah. I had heard about a sports and entertainment job fair that was going to be taking place downtown at the stadium. Nice. And so I took a chance and I went down there, and I'm not a sports person, but I figured, this would be a great way to meet some new people. And if I can get a job, maybe doing voice work or something. I had no thought process to be in TV. I just knew that if something happened and it evolved that way, great, because it's an extension of radio.
Yeah, the opportunity.
Mm-hmm. So I went down there and I met this production company based in California that were looking to do some work here in Arizona. And they wanted to put together an entertainment program called Arizona Entertainment Weekly. And they said, we just look for some field people to kind of go out, tell some community stories and entertainment things of things to do in Arizona and why people should come here as a vacation destination. Gotcha. So I thought, okay. And so the guy says, if you're interested, we can send you out to put a story together. And in my mind, I'm like, I never put a story together, but sure. And I said, what does that involve? And he says, well, you just go out and like you see on the news, you just put a story together. You're talking to people, you're getting the interview, and then the videographer will get some clips and we'll put it together and see if it looks right, see how you come across on camera. And then if it works, you'll get the job. If not, we appreciate your time. And I was like, okay, well, let me see. So they sent me to Out of Africa, the wildlife park down in Camp Verde. So it was me and this camera guy go drive down there. I'd never been there. And the guy goes, so do you have an idea of what you want to do? Sure. No, but sure. Because, you fake it till you make it. Right. I said, well, let's find the zookeeper person and just see who we can talk to. Or maybe we can go see some animals and I can talk to them about the zoo and stuff. So we did that. And then they said, well, since you got the cameras and you're filming this, well, we have an interactive thing what you can do with the giraffes. You want to go on the giraffe ride? Well, heck yeah, let's go. So we get on this ride with the giraffes. And they said, "Would you want to feed the giraffes?" I was like, absolutely. So then my mind started working and I started thinking, what would be a great visual? Because I'm thinking, what would be a great picture? And I said, well, can I feed the giraffes? Like if I put the food in my mouth because their tongue is long, would they take it out or would that be like hurt for me? And the guy goes, no, do it. It'd be great.
Yeah.
So here I am leaning outside of this Jeep we're in, no windows or nothing. I put the food in my mouth. It was an apple. Over comes the giraffe. He sticks his head into the window and this long tongue and he takes it. Camera guy gets everything and I just bust up laughing. That was the money shot. And in my mind, I'm having the time of my life, not thinking that's going to be the greatest shot ever. We got it. It's a wrap. We did some interviews with the guy that keeps the lions and stuff.
Right.
Took the package back. The guy was like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. He goes, you got the job. You're a new field reporter.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we filmed all these episodes. I was out there kayaking, hiking, interviewing small people that wrestle. I was doing all these adventure things that you can think of.
Right.
And I was making it up as I go along. And I just figured, okay, have fun, interview them, talk to them, engage people, get in there and do it myself.
Absolutely.
It was the best learning experience and it led to other things. And then I was able to do some fill-in reports for ABC 15.
Nice.
Because someone had seen me do that stuff on Arizona Entertainment Weekly. And they said, she's got big personality. Let's send her out when we need a filler story at like one of the fairs, or something like that. So I got to do things for them.
Yeah.
And then one thing led to another and it just started working. And it just landed me, down the road, everything you're doing is like really pretty much sharpening your skills and your tools
Right.
so you can land the next big thing. And that's all that job was doing, was helping me out. And I pretty much still treated it like radio. I had no fear. I was eager to learn and I would volunteer to do things that nobody else wanted to do. And it helped me out in the long run.
How long was that for?
It was for just a little over a year. They shot like 2 seasons, like the first package for the first part of the year, and then we had some months off, and then they came back again and did a few more months. And it aired on Saturdays on CBS here, and it was sort of like a morning daytime show.
Nice.
And it was a lot of fun.
And then from then you kind of made the transition into like more like journalism work.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of media.
Just doing different things. I started by just pitching content, like the local channel, Channel 7.
Yep.
I started watching their stations, seeing some of the stuff that they would cover, and I just started pitching content to the producer, became friends with her, and she kept, it's nice, okay, well, maybe, all that kind of stuff. And then eventually, one day, she needed
It just
a
stuck.
story. She was
Yeah.
like, I need somebody to go out and do this. Do you think you can get it? So I called my friend Todd, who had helped me and who had did the videography and the editing for the Arizona Entertainment Weekly. He
Yeah.
was looking for work, and I said, hey, I got a project. Channel 7 is looking for someone to go out. If we can go get this story, they're going to air it, and it could be an in for us.
Right.
Sure enough, I went out and we did the story. They put it into the morning scramble at the time.
Nice.
Then she was like, well, I appreciate you doing it. It turned out really good. Would you like to come in and maybe be a fill-in every once in a while when we need a guest for something or a segment that we could just... So I started doing that, and little by little it was like, well, can you guest co-host? And I had never did live TV, but I would show
you
up
had
and
that
I would
radio
fake it until I made it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it all where I'm like, where do I need to look? And it was just, you're just talking and sharing and engaging people. And so one thing led to another, and all those opportunities built up. And then before you know it, it was, we have this show. Can you do this? We have this we want you to do. And now we're revamping it. Can you be the main host along with Catherine and Aya? Let's move on and do it. And so it just, everything was just like trickling, moving in the right direction, and all the things that I was doing in the community, just on these different opportunities, from volunteering, pitching content, showing up and saying, I'll do it for free, just so I can keep, my face out there. And then eventually it was like, you're going to be an independent contractor for us. Okay, now you're on the payroll for us. And yeah, it just worked out. I did. I had a serious battle with cancer. And it's crazy because everybody knows somebody who is affected by cancer, but you really don't know the magnitude of what a person goes through unless you walk a mile in their shoes. Right. So 2018 was an amazing year for me. 2018, I was graduating, because I eventually finally decided to go to school to get a degree in journalism in 2013. So I was working at Channel 7 on the Daily Mix, and I was working at iHeart doing traffic reports and news writing in the afternoon. And then in the evening, I was finishing school. So in 2018, I was going to be graduating with my degree in journalism.
Gotcha.
And I was so excited. And it was a big year for me. And I've always been somebody who worked out in the community, volunteered, worked out all the time, exercising, you know, eating healthy, taking care of myself, don't drink alcohol or coffee, never smoked, and just led this sort of clean, healthy life. And I was always pushing.
Right.
So in 2018, I decided to ramp it up a little bit more, change my diet a little bit, incorporate different exercises, because my whole goal was graduate in May. In May of 2018, I was turning 50, and I said I'm going to go to Miami, celebrate my graduation, my birthday, live it up. But I wanted to be in the best shape of my life, because my whole goal was I'm going to be in Miami on the beach in a bikini. J-Lo is going to be shooting a video. She's going to see me and be like, girl, you need to be in my video. That was my mindset. Okay, it didn't happen that way, but that was my mindset. But my body, when I came back from Miami in June, started to shift. I started losing weight, but in my mind, because I was working out still a lot, I thought, oh, my metabolism is finally revving up, and I was feeling good. But then progressively, I started losing more weight, and then my back started hurting. Eventually, by November, got an MRI on my spine, because I told them my back is so sore, I can't even bend over to pick up my laundry basket, I can't tie my shoes, I'm in severe pain. They did the MRI on my spine, and I was 94 pounds. And my doctor told me November 21st of 2018, and it was literally the day before Thanksgiving, that I had stage 4 lung cancer as a non-smoker. And it traveled to my lower spine, my pelvis, and my shoulders. It was all in my bones, just spread everywhere. It was concentrated. So intense radiation in December of 2018, January of 2019, I started chemo. I had biopsies, surgery a few months later on my spine, the port put in my chest so I can receive medications, because they were putting in the IVs in my veins, and then they kept collapsing. Oh, it was horrible. But I decided, because I was on TV at the time in 2018, and a lot of people saw me getting thin, and they thought I had an eating disorder. They thought I was addicted to working out, and it was getting to be obsessive. And I kept telling them, no, I'm eating, but it's just not staying. I don't know what's going on. So when I announced it on television, that was pretty much the end of my journalism career, working in television. So I thought. But as someone who had come up in radio and television and loves a good story and knows how to tell a story, I decided to use my cancer as a platform, and it became my story. And I told my doctor, I said, I believe that everything I do in life sets you up for something bigger and greater. I said, I took a radio contest that I won and turned it into an amazing career. And I've got to meet incredible people, travel, do positive things in the community, test myself, push myself. So I said, now that I'm at this point in my life and I have this cancer, I said, the one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share it with everybody in a positive way, and I'm going to love up on it, and I'm going to kill it with kindness, because I know that your mind is extremely strong, and whatever you give it in a positive way, it'll feed down to every organ in your body. So I was going to turn that negative into a positive, and that's what I did. So I became my own news story with a positive light, because I said, if I am a non-smoker who took care of myself and got stage 4 lung cancer, somebody else out there is going through the same thing. So we need to share this. So I started sharing it on every social media platform that I had, through videos with positive affirmations. Every time I went to get chemo, it'd be like, it's Chemo Wednesday. I was so thin and frail, but I would do my hair, my makeup, and I'd put forth an effort. I would interview my doctors. We would talk with the nurses. I would always do these Facebook Lives when I was getting treatment, so people could see what I was going through. And they could feel it. And that opened up a door of conversation that apparently hadn't been had in the way I was doing it. I started getting contacted, news outlets did stories on me, medical health journals. The Mayo Clinic contacted me and sent a videographer to follow me one day when I started getting back into my workouts, to talk about the benefits of going through cancer with a positive mindset, and why exercising is so important. I did podcasts, interviews, you name it. And I just shared the positive light. And I told them, you know, I embraced it. And I said, I have to have gotten it for a reason. And I said, everything I believe that I've been doing in my life is sharpening my skills to put me on a bigger platform. And I have been able to use my cancer on a bigger platform. So in 2021, I met Chris Draft, who is amazing. He's a former NFL player, and he was so nice to extend on social media this warm, greeting of support and love. And unfortunately, his wife was like me, a non-smoker who got lung cancer, but she passed away. And so he carries on her mission by creating these white ribbons to bring lung cancer awareness. So he came to Phoenix, flew into town, brought me my white ribbon. We had a great meeting and exchange, and we've kept in touch ever since. And because he is a former NFL player and I have a media background, he was nice enough when the Super Bowl was here to invite me to Media Day. So I got to meet a lot of his NFL friends. I got to be on all these big platforms. Nice. With all these different media sports outlets sharing my story as a stage 4 lung cancer survivor, as a non-smoker, to bring hope and awareness. And so when I had that happen, I said to myself, everything that I manifest in the beginning by saying I'm going to share it to let everybody see a different side of it has come back to me as one of the biggest blessings in my life, because I've been able to share it on incredible platforms with people who I would have probably never come into contact with. And it opens up that door of conversation, and it gives people hope. And so people find me on social media, or other people say to them, you need to follow Danielle because she's somebody who's determined, never gives up. And you would never think by looking at her that she's ever had cancer, ever went through all the stuff she's went through. And I met people as far away as Switzerland, because I would post videos on YouTube, Instagram. So a young lady who had lung cancer as a non-smoker was living in Switzerland, saw my videos, reached out to me. We started doing Facebook Lives together. We hooked up with a couple of other women across the country. We'd do these Zooms. And it was just incredible hearing their stories. Healthy, athletic women who don't smoke all had some different degree of lung cancer. Mind-boggling. So together we decided we need to change the trajectory. We need to let people know that it's not a smoker's disease. Right. It's a disease that affects everyone and anyone. And we need to let people know that we are the face of this disease. The biggest compliment came when I became Arizona's Lung Force Hero in 2020. I was working with the American Lung Association. I became Arizona's Lung Force Hero. And what that did is it meant that I got to represent the state of Arizona, go to Washington, D.C., speak before Congress, and let them know that I am not just a number or a name on a piece of paper. I'm a real living, breathing human being who never smoked, who had this horrible disease happen to me. So you need to continue funding. You need to continue research. You need to allocate those dollars for other people that look like me, who are determined to live out this disease in a positive way and live our best life. Exactly. So I knew on all these levels that I was doing exactly what I was supposed to be doing. Everything from the time winning that radio contest, having no fear, meeting people, being a viable commodity in the community through volunteering, doing different things to help myself be a better human being, healthy, taking care of myself, has led me to this point. And I feel like the cancer has just been the catalyst of humility, gratitude, and it just opened me up to so much more loving blessings, because I ain't got no man. I ain't got no kids. I ain't got no pets, and I ain't got no plants. But I have a tribe of love. I have a tribe of people, and I've helped so many people. So I feel like my life is full. So if something happened and I was to pass, I feel like I've lived my best life, and I've done exactly what I'm supposed to be as a human being, giving back to others and just continuing love and support for the next generation. So I'm hoping that anybody else that gets lung cancer, especially a non-smoker, or even if you are a smoker, just know that you can get through it. Mental mindset, positivity, because good always trumps evil. And the more you push, your body will respond to it, and it will give you exactly what you need. And that's what it's given me. Nothing but love, gratitude, appreciation, and a platform for good.
God dang, man. Oh my gosh, man.
You were so me. He's like, wait, what? I know, because people meet me and they never think.
Yeah.
So I always have to show them that, well, I still get on my port because I still go every 2 months to get treatments and stuff. But it's just a medication that helps with my bones, because as you age, your bones change and everything like that. But yeah, I told people I'm determined to live my best life. I said I would never give into it and stop, because look how far I've gotten. Look at all the stuff I've been able to do, and you would never think that I've ever had anything wrong with me. Like when I go hike, people, like I took this one time because a health magazine, a journalist out of New Jersey found me on Instagram, and she writes for Health Monitor magazine back east. She goes, I need to do a story on you. I've been following your stuff on Instagram. She goes, you just don't even look like it. And so you could give hope to a lot of people. So she lined up a photographer here in Phoenix, and we did the interview over Zoom, and then I sent her some stuff via email. And so we went to Camelback to take some pictures, and I had my white ribbon, and people were like, what is this for? You have cancer? You,
Right. That's what I'm saying.
what? You don't even look like, what? What is next for Diva? Well, I have to tell you, I've been on this journey of, self-discovery. I feel like I'm in the best place in my life because currently right now, I'm living my best life. I recently turned 55. I feel so good. And I just am embracing the unexpected that comes my way, because I don't look at them as, obstacles or challenges anymore. I look at them as opportunities. So when something comes into my life, and even if it's something that I don't really understand at the moment, and I have to give myself a day or two to kind of wrap my head around it, I always say to myself, this is a little scary, it's a little frustrating, but there's a blessing that's gonna come from it. So I got to roll with it, figure out how to work through it, and then the good shows itself. So yeah, I'm doing really well. I have taken all the things that I've done up until this point, and I created my own business. So when I was going through school, getting ready to graduate in 2018, prior to that, still volunteering in the community, I created a public speaking workshop working with kids and nonprofits. So I've been fortunate enough to work with the Peoria School District to help 7th and 8th graders understand the power of their voice through my writing, speech, and storytelling workshop. And I've worked in 3 schools in the Chandler School District. So individuals, companies, corporations, educational institutions, they hire me, they bring me in to be a source of motivation, to bring me in to talk to the students, to let them understand that, everything starts with you, to help them understand the power of their voice, how to write and articulate their thoughts, and then ultimately build that confidence so they can get in front of their peers and share a little bit about who they are. And I do the same thing with companies, because sometimes they have employees that they need to get out of their shell, or they have a conference coming up and someone who used to do all the speaking isn't going to be able to do it, so they need to groom a few other employees to get into that role. So I work with them on that level, or just helping them get to that level of confidence to sell themselves in a job interview, because so many people have gotten away from the formalities of what it takes to interview, to sell themselves, whether like this on camera in the virtual space or in person. So I kind of help them get up to speed on that and give them the tools and techniques, and just help them with the storytelling process, and ultimately sharing their words with conviction, because everyone has something to share. They have a story, and they have assets that they can contribute to get them to where they want to be, but they just sometimes don't know how to verbalize it. And I can do that because I talk all the time. So yeah, it's always good. So I've been doing that, and just still communicating with different individuals in the community through volunteer opportunities, and just supporting where I can other individuals, unfortunately, because I still do get phone calls from friends or just people that I've been referred to from social media that have someone that they love or know who has just been diagnosed with different types of cancer, and could you talk to them because you handle your cancer so well, or what could I say to them that would make them feel a little bit better, because we're all going through this together and it's overwhelming, or do you know of a resource or somewhere we can go like that would give us information, because we're lost. And so I've taken everything that I've learned and I've helped them, and it just makes me feel good, because I tell myself this is what the cancer was for. I'm a vessel now in a positive light to not only help myself but to help others. So it's been great. It's amazing.
Absolutely. It's like God bless you, so why not be a blessing to others?
Right. And that's what you're supposed to do as a human being. Pay it forward.
Each one teach one, and And then speaking of which, obviously, helping people with that method is incredible. But you also have another method of making people laugh. Tell us about your comedy run.
Comedy. Yeah, comedy started actually when I was doing radio in California. That was part of the morning show duties.
Okay.
Go down to Monterey to this comedy club called Planet Gemini, warm up the audience and introduce the headliner. And then the next morning, the headliner would come be on our morning show and promote himself or herself. And I really enjoyed it. And I started to get to know different comedians, and they would always say the same thing. If you want to get into comedy, do it when you feel like you have stories or something to share. And where you can be honest in your writing to share and turn those stories into funny, or figure out how to write the jokes. And so 2013, 2014, I started going to a few open mics, experimenting with it. And I felt like I had some stuff to say. So I started out real slow, just talking about basic things that were relatable.
Yeah.
And then eventually it, got progressively a little bit changing, a little bit better. Yeah. And then in 2018, had to take a break with the whole cancer thing. And then we went through COVID. But I used that time to write different stuff because my life was transitioning and changing.
Absolutely.
And then when the clubs started opening back up, and then I was able to get into some of the clubs and then just work on the new material, it just trickled into this wonderful thing. And it just helps in so many ways, especially because sometimes people have me come in to be a motivational speaker. And if you can be humorous in telling your story, it helps. Or to MC a corporate event, when you're, you got to be able to be quick on your feet, stall for time, because something always goes wrong with technology. The screen, the platform that they had up there is not working. The visuals, the DJs, like the audio is going out. So if you can entertain people while all that's going on and not make them feel stressed because the technical is not up to where it's supposed to be, and then still introduce a speaker and bring them on stage, it makes a big difference. So it sets me apart a lot of times when it comes to being a corporate MC, hosting an event, being able to do that, because I've done stand-up comedy. And if you can roll with the punches, be quick on your feet, and I don't take myself too serious because I'm just there to have fun at your event, get dressed up, take some amazing selfies, and eat your free food. Okay, that's all it is. I'm just trying to hang. That's why I tell people, I never wanted to be the celebrity. I just want to hang out in your world. Just like when I first started radio. I don't want to be you. I just want to hang out in your world. Because that's the fun part. So that's kind of what I've done with my whole career. I've done it, and I've hung out in their world, and I've had the best fun at it. And I'm still doing it. So it's great. It's fantastic.
And it's therapeutic for yourself as well.
It is, because you can make fun of the cancer on stage. And it's the best thing ever, because I don't really tie it in until towards the end, if depending on how long my set is. But I talk about everything from my life, dating. It's all observational, relatable. Changing in your lives with your looks and your body, and But then you sprinkle in the cancer and make it fun at the end. I always have people come up after the show. Oh my God, my sister's 3 years cancer-free from breast cancer. I would have never known. Oh my God, my cousin 2 years ago was diagnosed. Girl, look at you. You don't even look like you ever had anything wrong with you. And people just can't wrap their head around it sometimes, but it opens up a door of conversation. Then people want to follow you because you become a part of their tribe. You're relatable to them now. And it just opens up that communication. And it's so nice because then you have something in common. And so when people come, they're like, this is the one I was telling you about. Look at her. She had the cancer. She had the cancer. Look at her. It's like, that's how people, it's like, so it's just good. It's just a way to continue the conversation, welcome in new people, and then ultimately have people support what you're doing and have fun with you as you go along for the ride when you're up there on stage rig-a-dig-a-doing, honey. So it's all good. It's like one of the best feelings in the world to know that people, even though you don't see them on the regular basis, are your champion and cheerleaders on the outskirts, always rooting for you because they've seen you, they've followed that journey. You've been a part of their life. I've been a part of so many individuals' lives, from the voice on the radio to the quirky stuff I've done to seeing me on TV, to being their hero in some ways, coming through my cancer journey, to being their ray of sunshine and light, because when they meet me in person, I'm the same person. I haven't changed. I'm the same person. So what you see is what you get. And it's just nice to know that no matter where you go, even like I said, if you don't see people in a long time, it could be years, something may pop up in a memory on social media, or your name could come across something and someone will be, girl, back in the day, you better shut up. Is this Danielle? And it just makes you feel like, oh my God, I remember you from when we went to Marriott's Great America back in the day in California, you know, and it just, people don't forget. And they just love when they can have somebody that is real and that was a part of their childhood, was a part of their youth, was a part of their, you know, high school years, their college years, or their adult years when they were listening and their kids were growing up and we were on the radio. It affects all these generations, and it makes you feel good, especially when you've been real, you've been genuine, and you've had consistency, and they know that you're there and you're loyal, and what you see is what you get, and you're never going to be any different, and they appreciate it. So I appreciate them for always being there. And you just never know who you're going to touch just by being your authentic self. Well, it's Diva Danielle, and I have to tell you, much love, much support. This made me feel so good. So I hope when you watch this, it makes you feel even better. Keep your head up. Remember, you are the ultimate, and don't ever let anybody take that away. That's my 5.
And there you have it. Man, shout out to you, Danielle. You are just a true gem, just a wonderful human being. And I just love hearing your story. You know, from the time we connected, you know, I just knew it was special. And I love hearing, you know, the start, you know, from day one to everything that you've been doing now. And, you know, I wish you just nothing but continued success, my friend, and nothing but blessings your way, because you are a blessing. And thank you so much for blessing our platform. And let's keep this going. All right. Make sure you guys are following her on social media. And shout out to my brother Jimmy Nelson on the camera. Make sure you guys subscribe to that YouTube channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend. You can also go to www.justgimme5.com. You can subscribe there as well. All right. Well, this was definitely one for the books. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, though. Until next time, stay tuned, stay blessed, stay healthy. Just give me 5, y'all.
Everything you get, you got to work hard.